Good evening, everyone, and welcome to LTL Cockerel Thursday's Mop Up Show. My fault. I was the one that was late,
Yeah,
switching everything on, and it's taken ages to get my iMac up and running. I don't know whether I have to clean it or something because,
yeah.
it must be clogged up. And of course, as you can see with me, I've got the beautiful Queen Ellie. I have royalty with me tonight.
Yeah. I'm sending out the apology as we speak.
Can I?
I think,
I haven't had time to speak to you, but can I ask you a question?
yeah,
Right.
go on then.
You were Queen Ellie ba bum, right?
Right.
Then you told everyone you was becoming Queen Ellie Van de Ven or something you was going to call
Yeah,
yourself.
I was.
But now you're Queen Ellie Bergval.
Yes, because I was on the Irish Hotspur chat, and Dave said, "You've got to be Queen Ellie Bergvall. You've got to be." Because it's got Berg, because that's Heiberg. So I went with the Irish Hotspur because he was the one who named me Queen Ellie Hoybier. So I've got to be loyal to him. And
Fair enough.
that's the first time I ever got involved in YouTube, when I saw Dave Harris, because he's a lovely chap. So
Yeah,
there you go. There's the story. And I'm
fantastic.
also a turncoat.
Fair enough. Um,
Yeah,
right. So
and
let's just say
honest.
let's welcome some people in because there were some people here waiting for me to start. And I sent a message out, and you kindly sent another message out for me. So well done. We've got
Yeah,
Adrian's here. Good evening, Adrian.
go on,
Good mo-
Adrian.
Good morning to Nate Pye. Um,
Adrian, I
Nate,
didn't
Nate,
speak to Adrian today. I've got the Adrian blues. I normally speak to him about twice a day at least.
Nate. I just wanted to say, Nate.
Nate Pye,
Yeah,
nice
Nate.
name.
Yeah, Nate's. He's. Let me just see who it is. So Nate runs the community type thing out in
Right,
Australia.
nice.
Um, Sydney Osspurs.
Whoa, I
Right,
love it.
and what Nate's done for us is because Nate's in the competitions.
Yeah,
He's a member, but he's also in the competitions. What Nate's done, he's done a write up for everyone, right?
nice.
Uh, he's done a write up for everyone, which he sent to me, which I've now put on the community page. So there's a write up for the first game week for Fantasy Premier that he's done.
Right,
So well done to
nice
Nate for
one.
providing that. And
Man,
if anyone wants to read it or comment on it because he's put the effort and the work into it, then please go to the community page, like
yeah,
it, and make a comment. Have a read of it and make a comment. But he's done a nice little write up about the LTL League and game week 1. So
that's
thank you very
brilliant.
much, Nate. So it's good morning to you. We got Graham's here.
Go on,
Graham's here
Graham.
saying, "Good evening, Jose. Hope you are well." He didn't realise that you were on. I don't think at
That's
the
all right.
time.
I'll forgive him.
Yeah, but what I will say is I'm surprised that Graham's here because Graham sent a message the other day when we were doing a show, and he said
Yeah,
that he was going to be away for a few days from YouTube, and that he would be back on Friday for predictions show. So,
right.
and I'm not sure whether he's about or whether he's just logged in, but he's saying hello to everyone else in the chat, so he
I
might be
reckon he
about.
wants a bit of Jose tonight, doesn't he? That's why
Yeah.
he's tuned in.
We've got Adrian saying, "I'm sure will be worth the wait."
Yeah,
So good
I'm
evening
gonna give
again,
it to
Adrian.
you, Adrian.
Good evening, Steve D. To you, well as well, mate. It says it's well past fashionably late now, Jose. I have apologised to everyone. So who else we got? We've got people saying hello to each other, and then we've got Raw is War. Raw is War is here. Good evening, Raw is War. Says hi. Is this the prediction evening? He
Yeah.
says.
Tell everybody your good news about attending the
Hold on, hold on,
stadium.
hold on. Mark Cousins is here, the sheriff,
Are you gonna
saying
save that one?
saying good evening all, right?
Yeah, go on, Mark, our
And
mod.
then we've got Paul G in the house saying good evening,
Woo!
Jose, good evening, Ellie,
Oh,
big up, good
yeah.
people. Yeah, we got a few. Right, we're going to do a mop up show, but we got a few things to mop up before we mop up. If you get what I
Yeah.
mean. Right. So
Get the mop out.
firstly, firstly, the delightful Queen Ellie has helped me out to source a ticket
I did.
for the Everton game on Saturday. So
Yeah.
hopefully it all comes through tomorrow morning, and if it gets done tomorrow morning, then I will be meeting Ellie at the. Well, I mean, we're at the stadium, but we're going to the Antwerp Arms. So yeah, I'm meeting Ellie at the stadium, and then we're going to the Antwerp Arms. I've had a few people message me to see whether I'm going Saturday or not, and am I going? And if it all gets confirmed tomorrow morning, then it looks like we'll be meeting with a load of people, because people will see me in the flesh. Although Ellie's seen me in the flesh already, she's met me.
I have.
But I will be meeting other people as well on Saturday, so they'll get to see that Jose is a real life character.
Yeah, and Jose saw me cook as well, didn't you? You saw me cook my meatballs.
And the one thing that the people find is what you see on screen is what you'll see in real life.
Yeah, I'm the same everywhere I go.
So there's no split personalities. You'll see the person that you see on screen. The person you see on screen is the person you'll see on Saturday at the game. So, so I'm looking. So that's Saturday. So I'm looking forward to going to the game on Saturday. I'm waiting for it all. I mean, I'm itching. I'm waiting for it all to be confirmed tomorrow morning. And if it does get confirmed, then I will be meeting Ellie Saturday. So that's the first bit of mop up. The second bit of mop up we got for people, right, which is an interesting bit of mop up, right, is that on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, is it? 11 o'clock, right? We have this.
Woo!
We have the Ladies Takeover Show returning back to El Tel Cockerel. So Ash P is back.
Yeah.
And Ash P reached out to me and said to me, would it be possible to do a show with Ellie again to reconvene what they used to do on El Tel Cockerel?
Yeah.
And that she can only come once a week at the moment.
Yeah.
And she's asked whether she could come and do it. So on Sunday, please put your notification on and look out for this special show on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. from Ash P and Ellie.
Yeah, and it will come from my home. I like the dollar sign that I've got. Shows that I'm a rich lady, not just rich in company tonight.
Is that why you've got all the dollars behind you, or the notes behind you, the bank notes?
That's it. It's for our American viewers.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's Abraham Lincoln or whether it's Johnny the Turncoat, Johnny the Turncoat from Billericay High Road or someone like that. He's not done some. He's not done some fake notes for you.
Yeah, dodgy.
Graham says, saw you were on Jose, popped on. Been avoiding the meltdown and social for a few days.
Oh, no.
We can talk about that in a second. I can talk about that in a second. There's Adrian says, I shall meet you both in the Antwerp Arms. As I said, Adrian, as soon as I know that I've got the ticket tomorrow, I will then be telling people what time I'm getting. I'm going to tell Ellie, and then I'll tell everyone else what time I'm getting there, so we can meet up and I can say hello to people at the game, which is I'm looking forward to. One, going to the game, but also as well meeting people from the community as well, because I met Ellie at your house along with Colin's mum and his wife and his best mate Nick. So
so lovely.
So the three of us, we all met at Ellie's house, but it's a chance to meet a load of other people as well.
Colin and his mum and Nick and Beth were lovely, and you braving it and next to my ginger cat and getting sore eyes.
Mark Cousin says Ellie's section is a bit rough though. I'm not in the 2-5. I'm not in the 252.
Well, you're in 250, which is nearer the corner flag. So
so I'm not in the 252. I'm in 250, which means I'm not far from it all. But we've also got Johnny Bethnal Green here saying, all right, geezer and our sweetheart Ellie. I hope your holiday is going really well, Johnny. I really do. I hope your holiday is going really well. I think you would have wanted, Johnny, remember, Paul's asked a question. Remember, Johnny, 4 o'clock show tomorrow for the predictions. Because I think you missed last week and you were asking. So, it's on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Paul G says, I'm okay. Avoiding socials has been necessary for me too. Let's get a big win on Saturday and then a positive for the week.
Yeah, we all
Paul,
need
the
it.
show's still on tomorrow at 4:00, mate. I mean, as I said, the other two competitions take care of themselves because they're self-serving, and you can just go on there and do them in your own leisure. So everyone knows that the Premiership's back this weekend, so you'll know to do the other two competitions. But the Friday show is definitely on tomorrow at 4:00. The only show that I've got planned that's is the watch along on Saturday on LTEL. Colin's going to take over the
Yes.
stream now, and he's going to do it on LTEL for me because I will obviously be at the game. But yeah, so it is normal service, even though I'm away. Just the harmless potatoes here saying good evening or good evening, just the harmless potato. I hope you're well.
Yeah.
Spurs GCC says I have no issue with constructive criticism but why some people need to be so personal and degrading is beyond me.
Yeah, that's what they're like in real life, probably. That's why.
Best game I've been to sitting near Ellie.
Yes. Me and Mark, like, we're buds, right? We bump into each other and give each other a big cuddle. Yeah, he's only a little guy, so he's easy to get your arms around him. He's so sweet.
I gave Ellie a cuddle when I met her as well, and I'll give her another
Yeah,
cuddle on Saturday as well. So
I know. Maybe
yeah,
a little kiss on the cheek, maybe.
yeah,
Never tell the
we'll
wife
go.
of the husband.
Yeah, we'll go Mediterranean. We'll go on
That's
Mediterranean.
it. Couple of one smacker there, one smacker here.
But what people are saying, and I can understand, and I will say this. I mean, I don't know. Do you use shitter much, Ellie?
Do I? Yeah, I do use
Yeah.
Twitter because
Okay.
I do like little competitions and ask fans their opinions on things.
Do you read the stuff in there that's on there?
Yeah, I do quite
Okay.
often, but obviously this week's a bit of a bummer because my daughter had her tonsils out, so I've been tending her most of the week. But
Yeah.
other than I do read them. If they're toxic, I'll try to avoid it.
Well, okay. So what these guys are saying, I can totally understand because I went on to Shitter today looking for news. Is there any
Yeah,
news out there? So you go to Shitter to see what the bullshitters are saying because I
yeah,
call them the
a lot of
bullshitters
bullshit on there.
because they all think they know everything, and we're linked with Johnny the Horseman and all sorts, and
Yeah.
basically whoever we're linked to has not been. No one said who we're linked to. No one's got it right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
no one's got it right. So I went looking I went looking for news today, and what Graham and Paul and some others are alluding to, I think, unless they're talking about YouTube, but I found on Shitter today, it's civil war out there.
Yeah.
The post that I was reading, there was civil war. You got those that are on this side and those that are on that side, and going at each other. And you're deluded, you're wrong, you're positive, or at me clap back, you're negative. It was just all over there. And I was reading it all, and I'll be honest, I did a bit of shit stirring today. And what I did is everyone, regardless of what they were saying, I liked every comment. I didn't comment on it. I just liked every comment. So the people that were happy clappers, I liked their comments. The people that are negative or perceived to be negative, I liked their comments. The people that that do this, I was liking their comments, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to keep the peace and just like
Shit stirrer.
no, I kept the peace because I liked everyone's comments, so I just kept the peace. So
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, I can understand where they're coming from because what I read today, it was like I was in civil war, honestly.
The man of peace. Come on.
Destiny 5's here. Look, says evening all. I hear Villa have inquired for Sterling.
I
Not that
know.
we want him, but that's ambition. Is it ambition? No. Right, Destiny. And the only reason I say, Ellie, where do you sit on Villa's transfer dealings this summer?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Better than ours in terms of making their first 11 better.
Do you think so? Tell me who makes their first 11 better. If I tell you, if I look up the players that they've signed, I need you to tell me who makes their first 11 better because I think this Villa stuff is a fallacy. I do. But let me tell you who they've signed.
I think West Ham. Maybe I'm thinking of West Ham, the other claret and blue.
Okay. So with West Ham as well, I'll bring up West Ham's as well. Right. I'll bring up West Ham's as well. Right. And as I said, this is only opinions. No one has to agree or disagree in that. It's just opinions. All right. Let me see if Aston Villa comes up first.
Villa transfers in, isn't it?
Here we go. Right. So Aston Villa. Right. Transfer market 24-25. Right. So Aston Villa released. Have their releases here as well?
Yeah, you got to see who they sold as well. Ins and outs. If you put Aston Villa ins and outs, 24, 25.
I know that they sold Douglas Luiz, right, to Juve, and they sold Diaby to Saudi Arabia. Right?
That's really funny because he's not that old, is he, Diaby?
No. So, but right, these are the players that they've bought in. They've bought in Amadou Onana from Villa, from Everton.
He scored, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Ian Matson from Chelsea, Cameron Archer from Sheffield United, Jaden Philogene from Hull, Samuel Illing Jr. from Juve, he was part of the swap, and Enzo Barrenechea was part of the swap. They've bought in Lewis Dobbin. Lewis Dobbin was bought in as one of them horse trading deals. So Lewis Dobbin is worth 1 million, right? And they bought him for 12 million. So it was all to do with PSR and PFI, all that horse trading that comes between each other. So they bought Lewis Dobbin in. They got Ross Barkley on a free.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm looking to see if they've got anyone else. No, they've got nobody. That's what they've bought in, and they got rid of the two players that I've just said.
Yeah, I see that they've spent Ian Matson from Chelsea. 44.5 million.
Yeah, 60 million for Onana.
Nearly 60 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Cameron Archer centre forward.
17 million from Sheffield United from the Championship.
Yeah, Jaden Philogene.
From Hull, 16 million.
Samuel Illing Jr. from Juve, 14 million.
14 million, but he was part of the deal that took Diaz the other way. And Enzo Barrenechea, 8 million for Enzo Barrenechea, who was part of the deal as well. Yeah, he was part of the deal. And then Dobbin is only worth 1 million, but in the end,
they've got them all. Like they've got 3 left wingers, so they're like ample there. Left back, defensive midfielder, and a central midfielder in Ross Barkley, and then a defensive midfielder. I think they got Lamara Bogardi. Is that right? But it says no figure.
No, yeah, but that just means that he's in Aston Villa's under 21s.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And Alex Moreno's come back because he's been on a loan. So
right in a way. They've strengthened, but not significantly.
They haven't strengthened. All they've done is padded out their squad, in my eyes. I don't think they're strengthened at all.
Onana's a first teamer, isn't he?
He's the only one that played on Saturday.
Yeah.
Out of all the new buys. Okay, he scored a goal and then Villa did win. But is Onana better than Douglas Luiz?
No. He's different, isn't he?
Yeah, he's different, but when you look at the system they play,
defensive midfielder, whereas Douglas Luiz was an attacking like a winger stroke midfielder, wasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, Villa have got a really good manager in Unai Emery. He's a really good tactician. He's a good manager.
Yeah.
But people are telling me about Villa doing bits and pieces, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, and I said this before, that's why I'm asking you the question, because my take on this was.
I'm looking at their ages.
Yeah, but my personal take on this was
about 22, really 23.
Yeah, my personal take on this was that Villa have padded out their squad. They haven't improved their first team as such, right? Because Onana didn't pull up trees at Everton last season either, right? No. And Ian Matson, people are going to tell me that he had a really good loan spell at Dortmund last year. He didn't get in the team. They played Luca Dina in front of him. Like Luca Dina was selected before him. Now, whether these people integrate into the team later on in the season, I don't know. But already, Illing Jr., they're already looking to loan him out. And I've only just brought him to the club.
Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but let me just catch up with the chat before we carry on.
Does it say why?
What, Illing Jr.?
Yeah.
No, I don't know why, but they're already looking to loan him out.
Okay.
Right. Nita is here, says, good night, Jose and Ellie. Hope you're both well. Been looking at other chats since the season has started. I always stay with who I love to watch and tune into as much as I can. TTID. So well done. Paul, when I was talking about shitter, I think Paul's put a comment in saying, yeah, that's it, Jose. Exactly what I'm alluding to. The man, there's your man from?
No, came from Montrose.
Hello, guys. I hope you're well. Did you do a show earlier today? Sorry if I missed the afternoon one. No, the afternoon one is tomorrow, Niall. We're doing the afternoon tomorrow one.
He's only a part-timer now, Niall.
Yeah, Niall says like, subscribe, and share, which would be
He's
good.
On shitter, that's why.
Yeah, hitting the like button would be great if people can hit the like button. That's good.
Yes.
Nita says life is more than busy for me. Nita,
good.
It's busy for everyone, but I'm glad that even if you find a couple of minutes to listen to Ellie and myself, then I'm happy. I'm happy that you was here. We're happy that you were here even for a couple of minutes. Paul G says Anana's the only one. No, Niall saying hello to everyone in the chat. Just the harmless potato says Madsen was on loan at Dortmund last season. He played in the Champions League final, which he did. Niall Kane says he's a good player. He was at Dortmund last season and was on loan at Burnley when they were in the Championship.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? From Burnley to Dortmund.
We got Gary Hunter. Good evening, Gary Hunter. He says, I think Archer has been sent out straight away. And Illing Jr. is going out on loan as well. I didn't know Archer had gone, Gary, but I knew they were thinking of sending Illing Jr. out. So at the end of the day, Villa obviously had to balance their books. Sold £100 million worth of players, and they haven't bought. To me personally, I don't believe they've got any stronger. If anything, I think they've got weaker because they've padded their squad out.
But they've lost their attacking.
They've lost two quality. They've lost two quality players. They've lost two quality players.
Yeah.
Because Luis was a monster player for them, and Diaby on his day could be a monster as well.
Yeah, yeah. They got rid of that Tim Iraburium, whatever his name. I can't pronounce it, but he was at QPR on loan because I was watching him with my husband.
What, the Everton player, the one that went to Everton?
Tim Iraburium, I think it's pronounced.
Graham saying it doesn't matter who we're interested in or sign, it causes division. You have Destiny 5 saying signing Sterling is ambition. Others would say a typical cheap deal for a player on the decline. Gary Hunter is saying, I'm not convinced Villa are better than last year. And then he's also saying Luis is much better than Onana. I know we agree that they play different positions, but you know, when you're looking at it for like type thing,
what they give you.
Luis was quality for them last season. Paul
Very
says, I think
as well, wasn't he, Douglas Luiz?
Paul saying, I think they've lost two big players and bought one, possibly two in. Well, they've bought 8 or 9 players in, but like I said, Nita says Villa are looking at Sterling, so I'm hearing. Gary Hunter's agreeing he's a top manager, and then says apparently Everton were happy to see the back of Onana. Milton, good morning, Milton. Hope you're well, Jose. Big up chat. Smash the likes and support this great channel. Lots of love from Australia. Thank you very much for being in, Milton. Nice to see you, and good morning to you again. Chris Lonnie, another one from down under. Good morning to you, Chris. Says all we got was Bergvall, Grant, Odebert. Not many quality proven PL standard moves across the teams apart from us. Just a harmless potato says Dortmund had an option to buy Mazden, but didn't do it. Too expensive. Yeah, they signed him for 44.5 million euros in the end. Villa, which worked out to be about 38 million pounds. Niall Kane says I was on about the Ellie and Ash show on my previous comment. Oh no, Ash has just come back, right? And she contacted me, and Ash and Ellie are doing the ladies takeover show at 11 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So it'll be a weekly thing that they do, possibly on Sundays from now on, because Ash can only stream once a week, and she's asked to stream with Ellie on here, and it'll probably be at 11 o'clock every Sunday. But Ellie will correct me if I'm wrong when she comes back, 'cause she's disappeared. Gary Hunter says, I might be wrong, but I thought Archer was Southampton bound. Is there two Archers? I've got a feeling there's two Archers. Not that they both play for Villa, but I've got a feeling there might have been two Archers. But Archer could be the one that they're. I think the Archer that they're buying was for 15 million. Southampton. It'd be interesting because Sheffield United, Villa have only just bought Archer from Sheffield United for 16.5. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Mark Cousin says, I've researched the stats, 19 watching, 17 likes, 2 here, rent free. I think Mark the mod is telling people to hit the like button. Mark Cousin says, these rumours that Matt O'Reilly of Celtic, who Ange knows is linked to Brighton, he signed him from MK Dons while Celtic manager for a bargain, and he looked like he's maybe signing for Brighton. I think I'm not sure now, because but from my Brighton friends, because I live close to Brighton, well, about 30 odd miles from Brighton. So I know quite a few of the Brighton supporters, and the thoughts are that Brighton do like him and do want to buy him, but I think whatever they've bid for him hasn't met what Celtic would want. I think Celtic are looking for 30 million for Matt O'Reilly, and I think that maybe I think they've offered like 22 or 23, so there's a difference in price there. But like anything, these deals deals can still be done. We've got 8 days left, haven't we? We finished it. We finished the transfer window in 8 days and 15 minutes, because it's 11 o'clock on Friday the 30th. So we're nearly 11 o'clock tonight. So that would make it 8 days. So there's 8 days and quarter of an hour left of the window open. And with some of these teams, deals can still be done. Every team can still do deals within the next 8 days. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Destiny 5 says the difference is Sterling is proven. The players we have signed are not. What I will say, Destiny, I'm not gonna stampede on Sterling or anything. But Sterling last season, I'm not even looking at the season before. Last season for me did not look the same player that played for England and the same player that played for Man City. And I can see, instead of holding on to players, like some clubs do, i.e. Tottenham Hotspur, right? It's obvious that Pep saw something there and let him go a couple of years ago to Chelsea. And obviously went down a route with some other players that he's got in his squad at the moment, i.e. Foden's. Palmer was still there at the time. So he had these young ones coming through. He had Grealish there as well. He's had Bernardo Silva there. And he must have thought to himself, this guy's on the wane. And because he's on the wane, we can afford to let him go because we've got others to step up now. Because he was good at Man City, Sterling. Some would say that he was raw but good at Liverpool as well. So, at the end of the day, what are you buying? And if you're buying experience, I can see what you said, the experience will help Villa. Yeah, if you're buying experience, then all well and good. But how much money do you pay for experience, Destiny? At the end of the day, he's on a massive salary. Massive. He's got to be on. I think he's on over 300 grand a week. Now, if he's going to go somewhere, will he lower his wage demands? And that remains to be seen. Will he lower his wage demands? How much will Villa have to pay for him as well is another thing. So for me, what I will say to you is that when you've got Romelu Lukaku, Chalobah, Ben Chilwell, Raheem Sterling, they're talking about Chuamaka now. They're talking about, because he wasn't involved tonight at all, I don't believe, in the squad for Chelsea. People are even talking about Madueke as well. But there's a load of players that they've got, right? And from the players that they've got, they've got to then. Sorry, El. They've got to then. She does it on purpose, isn't she? You coming on or what? Every time I press it, you press yourself off.
That's it.
There she is.
Sorry, my computer rebooted. I sent you a message. It just cut
I don't.
off.
When I'm doing shows, I don't have my phone with me. So
Right,
I've not seen your message.
that's fine then. But I did send you a message. But
yeah.
yeah.
So sorry. So for me, I don't know how they're going to get Sterling, because will Sterling drop his salary demands? But what I was going to say, the names I've just given you with Chelsea. Chelsea have got about 10 players that they're willing to let go, but they've made it clear, because they're making these players train with the youngsters, so they've clearly not got any more life at Chelsea. Teams know this. Teams know this. So if teams come in at the last minute and offer you tuppence for these players, you're going to have to sell them, because you don't want them on your books. So there could be some deals to be done for some of these Chelsea players from teams that want them.
Yeah.
You know, and the only player that I think that Tottenham have been linked with, whether it's right or wrong, whether they know what they're talking about or not, is Chalobah. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see. It will all pan out in the next 8 days. Just Arnold Potato says, I see Jose's point. They probably got slightly weaker, and then they only had 2 points on us last season. They could be out of the top 4 race. Question is, what about United and Newcastle? What are your thoughts on United and Newcastle, Els?
Well, Man United got that 1-0 win against Fulham, but they struggled to make an impact in the game. I think Fulham had more possession than them as well when I looked at the stats. Newcastle, they're one of those teams, right? I mean, the first season they finished 4th, didn't they? Then they finished, did they finish 7th or 8th this season? Last season, sorry. I think they finished out of Europe, didn't they?
Only because Man United won the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they were in a European spot.
Yeah, they finished 7th. They finished 7th. Yeah, they finished 7th because Man United won.
They would have got Conference League, wouldn't they?
Or they would have got the qualifiers in the Conference League.
Yeah. So I think Newcastle are more of a threat than Manchester United, I would say, because they're more gelled as a team. Man United, they're sort of disjointed. Whenever I watch them, they don't seem any real pattern of play. Maybe this season they'll improve a little, but I think we're a little bit in front of them both, if I must tell the truth. I'm not bigging up Spurs at all here. I'm just thinking we are slightly ahead of them, and the style of play we play is a little bit kamikaze, but hopefully we can get a bit more cohesion defensively than those two teams. Let's see what pans out. I think we are better than those two teams, though. I know it might be a big shout this early days, but we finished above them last season. And we've got some very exciting youngsters, but I think we do need to get a couple of statement signings in. I don't know if Sterling will be a statement signing, but he'll be a good signing because he can score goals. That's one thing for sure. And he'll be eager to prove himself again, because there's nothing better than a player that's been scorned at a club and left out to dry, and he's got to prove his point. And he is a good player. He hasn't lost it completely. Just because he's fallen out of favour at Chelsea doesn't mean he's lost his skill. So I've seen him all throughout his career. He's been a goal scorer. So if we do get him, I won't be disappointed. Just put it that way.
So for me to answer this to just a harmless potato, for me, and I've always said this, right? And I said this when I had John Sinclair TV on with me, the Newcastle channel. I did a show last week with him on mine, and when he talked about Tottenham, what his thoughts were on Tottenham, and I said to him, my thoughts on Newcastle is, for a first 11, if they've got that first 11 and they're all fit, they're first 11 players, they've got a really strong. They've got a strong side. They've got a formidable strong side, right?
Yeah.
But they've got no depth. the thing that Tottenham didn't have last season is what Newcastle haven't got this season and didn't have last season. Now, I don't know with the PSR and PFI rules and stuff like that. I don't know whether people are giving an extra eye to Newcastle, but Newcastle seem to be playing things right by the book, and they can never get any players in because they can't go out and spend loads and loads of money, right?
Yeah.
But with Newcastle, I mean, at the moment, on Saturday, they had their defence now coming in, and it'll be their defence coming to when they, because we've got them in our next match. So not this Saturday, but the following week we're away to Newcastle, right?
I'm dreading that one.
Well, and when we play them, their back four, right, is going to be Hall and Livramento as the fullbacks.
Yeah.
So the two young boys at fullbacks, and their centre backs is going to be Emil Kraft and Dan Burn, because all their centre backs are out injured unless they make a signing, right?
So is Lloyd Kelly injured then?
Lloyd Kelly wasn't in the team at all at the weekend. I think he might be injured. He weren't in the week. Well, I know he weren't in the first starting 11. Let me have a look if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. So they played at the weekend, didn't they? Right, they played Saturday. Yeah, because it was. Yeah, they played Saturday.
They signed the Greek goalie, didn't they? Odysseus.
Another guy that was signed. Yeah, another guy that was signed. He was signed, but that was all to do with that horse trading crap. And the goalkeeper they signed weren't even a sub goalkeeper. It was Martin Dubravka on Saturday. So on the bench they had Kieran Trippier, who apparently wants to leave Newcastle.
Okay.
So he wants to get. I think he wants to get one more move. So one more good contract before, and then he'll probably end up fading out of football. Lloyd Kelly was on the bench, came on for Lewis Hall in the 70th minute. Matt Targett, Miggy Almiron, Joseph Willock, William Osula, Harvey Barnes came on for Anthony Gordon, and Emil Kraft came on for Jacob Murphy because obviously Fabian Schär got sent off. Now Fabian Schär's got a 3-game ban. But so, at the end of the day, as I said, looking at their team that played on Saturday, they had Nick Pope in goal. Across the back, they had Livramento, Schär, Burn, Hall. In midfield, they had Longstaff, Guimaraes, Joe Linton. But that may change depending on the date. Okay, it will change. They might, because Sandro Tonali comes back on the 28th of August. So that can make it Tonali, Guimaraes, Joe Linton. And then the front three were Jacob Murphy, Isak, Anthony Gordon. So, as I said, I think Newcastle, a starting 11, I think they've got a real decent starting 11. I'm going to say that. And I said this the other day, so I'm not going to go back and say something different.
Yeah, they have.
But depth, I don't believe they've got the depth. Well, and when I talk depth, for me, depth is you've got 9 decent players on your bench.
Yeah.
That's for me what depth is. With Manchester United, and I said this the other day, so I can't not repeat what I've said. But for me, the Man United thing is they've bought Mazraoui and they've bought De Ligt in. De Ligt was Mazraoui, both played for Ten Hag for Ajax when we played them, when we beat them in the semi-final.
Yeah.
They both played in that team then. And Mazraoui then got his move to Bayern.
Munich,
and had personal issues and injuries and hardly played.
Yeah.
De Ligt went to Juventus, and in 2 seasons at Juventus, he was injured and didn't get game time. He played less than 50%. Now, some people will argue that they had Bonucci and Chiellini still there at the time that De Ligt went, and he couldn't oust them, and they were 2 old blokes. And then he got his move to Bayern, probably because he wanted more first team minutes. Ended up going to Bayern, and Bonucci left, and so did Chiellini, and then he's gone to Bayern. But when he went to Bayern, he's not played 50% of the games at Bayern either. So, but I think defensive wise, I think if he stays fit and his fitness is not an issue, I think as a box defender, De Ligt could be a good player for him. Mazraoui, if he can be fit could possibly be a good player for them. But they're two unknowns at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Joshua Xerxes, who they bought, for me, is I don't know much about him. I'm not going to tell you that he's great or that he's not great. I just don't know
He's
much
the one
about
who
him.
scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
He score, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored.
Yeah.
He didn't know the ball had come off him, and he scored a goal, and then it pegged away and celebrated. But you know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, with the players that they've bought, I mean, there's talk about them going in for Agate now as well, who is a defensive midfielder. There's talk of them getting rid of accepting bids for Ericsson. If a bid comes in between now and the end of
Yeah.
transfer window, they're going to sell Ericsson, and he's not the only one. There's other players. Lindelof they're trying to get rid of. So there are players that Man United are trying to get rid of. So to me, a lot will hinge. A lot of it's going to hinge, like anybody, you know, if they can gel and the players stay fit and that. But other than that, it's only one game so far that's been played, and you watched the game because you're already talking about it. You watched the game and you're saying that they weren't no great shakes.
See, Newcastle got one up on Man United because they got Isaac. He's a proven goal scorer. Man United, they score goals, but all from different positions. They haven't got really a proven goal scorer. So I was thinking, why didn't they buy a proven goal scorer? It's a bit weird for Man United not to have that key striker. You know, I know they got Højlund, but he's sort of raw. Even in his first season, he was okay, but he didn't hit the ground running, did he? And then he had a little purple patch. But he's still raw as a footballer. He's still young. Yeah, so I was surprised a big club like Man United didn't go out and splash some dollars on a big name striker, someone like Vlahovic or even, I don't know, Isaac. They could have gone if Newcastle were going to let him go. I would have given 100 million for that player. He's fantastic.
So whilst we're looking at the chat, I can see Quez, Ali, Gary Hunter, and Niall Kane. And the three of you.
Smith's coming as well.
No, but Smithy's all right. He's cool because he knows this already. But for Gary Hunter and Niall Kane and Quez Ali, what I'd say to you, all three of you, is go and check your settings, right? And go to memberships and click your settings to accept gifts, because people are really, really generous in the community, and they end up buying memberships on channels, including this one, and they don't go to people because people haven't switched their gifting on. So someone's trying to gift you a membership, but you can't accept it because you haven't switched your gifting on. So I'll say to the three of you, switch your gifting on, and you could quite possibly in the near future get yourself a membership gifted to you. Niall says, it's been a while. I remember the shows when Ellie and Ash and Chan used to do the shows due to the time difference. Yeah, Chan I think Chan's got a new job. And because he's got a new job, he's trying to bed in and stuff like that. The shows used to be on a Friday morning at 11. And it used to be Ellie and Ash on Friday at 11 in the morning. And Chan and Ash used to do Wednesday mornings at 11. But as people know, Ash has been away through work. She's been not in civilization. I mean, I was speaking to the other day, and she's got no coffee left.
Yeah.
And she said that she has to travel 4.5 hours to the nearest city to go and buy the stuff that she needs. She has to stockpile and then bring it all back. And she gets a cab. 4.5 hours, and she gets a cab.
That must be an expensive cab ride.
Yeah, and India's a huge, huge country. So I dread to think how far 4.5 hours is in miles that she has to travel. So
when we had our chinwag, it was like really good to catch up with her. I've spoken to her before, but when we were talking about the show, it was so good to hear from her. But obviously, she's worried about her internet connection. So that's why she doesn't want to commit to so many shows. But she said she would go on shows if she can. If she can get a good internet connection, she'll join shows. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think I was right in telling the crowd that she's committing to one show a week on a Sunday,
yes,
11 o'clock.
Is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so I was right in telling people.
Yes,
so from now on, Ellie and Ash will be on a Sunday morning at 11 a.m. here on El Tel Cockerel. starting from this weekend now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Destiny says guilty. I've hit the like now. We're so far behind the chat. Right. Gary Hunter says Archer got sold to Sheffield, bought back by Villa, then sold to Southampton. Odd bit of business. Well, if that's happening, Gary, then it could well be to do with PSR. Again, there's been so much horse trading going on. It's beyond belief. Quezali, as I said, I saw him earlier, says good evening. Good evening, Quez. I hope you're well. Destiny says, yeah, the experience will help Villa from Sterling. Nita says, Man City, 100 million player sitting on the bench. The Euros, 100 million player in the team. No trophy. The young players stole the show across the board in the Euros.
Yeah.
Gary Hunter says he's still owed 30 million from Chelsea or something crazy like that. Just the harmless potato says £300,000 a week over 2 years is the same as 150 grand a week over 4 years. But I would not give him a 4-year contract anymore. You've got to remember he's 29 years old, and wherever he moves to, he's going to look for the last big contract like anybody else. You're going to look for that. Same as Eriksen's going to see whether he can get a last contract somewhere. You know, they're going to look for this. Just a harmless potato says unique business opportunities, as some would call it. Nita says Sterling, Chelsea needs to pay up to get rid of. They are bullying players like cook food, and the owner is still a screw face.
Yeah.
Gary Hunter says Sterling is one of the best wingers at arriving at the back post. Prime Sterling scored all his goals doing that.
Yeah.
And then he says, I don't know the lovely lady's name, forgive me, but I love her outfit, the white hat and the jumper.
Yeah. I've got all the signatures from the 1981 FA Cup team. Well, I've got 6 of them, so I need another 5. Well, Military Alexic very sadly died, didn't he? So I can get the other 5. I'm going to try.
So Gary, her name's Ellie, but she goes by the name of now Queen Ellie Bergvall, and she's a former Spurs ladies original before they became Spurs ladies, when they used to be Cheshunt or whatever they were back in the day.
They were Broxbourne ladies, and then they became
Broxbourne, which Cheshunt's in Broxbourne.
Cheshunt's the same place.
Yeah, it's in Broxbourne. But then, but she's now a ladies ambassador for Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah,
so that is the lovely lady's name.
Discounts. It's very good.
So that is the lady's name for you, Gary. So you know who she is. Niall Kane says Newcastle.
It's on behalf of Her Game 2 as well. I must mention that. Her Game 2 is an award-winning organisation that champions women in sport and protects women against all sorts of abuse. You know, so if they get abused anyway, racially, sexually, whatever, you know, because we're there to enjoy the sport as well, play it, officiate, and be fans. So yeah, it's a good, and they do the same for men as well. Like if they get a man complaining, we will protect him as well. So yeah,
and that's what the Queen does. The Queen protects their realm.
They
so
do.
There you go. There you go.
The Kingdom of Spurs.
There you go. So she's protecting our realm for us. Niall says Newcastle linked to the Palace defender who had a great Euros for England, and rumours Trippier wants to leave. Yeah, Trippier apparently wants to go. Like I said, I think he wants to go and get the last payday, a last good contract, because obviously he's 33 now. But he's told Newcastle that he wants to go. And yeah, apparently they're about 5 million off Guehi at the moment. They bid they did a deal for 65, but Crystal Palace wants 70. And at the end of the day, like I said to people before, Crystal Palace are not skint. Steve Parish can hold all these teams to ransom, and if you don't pay what they believe the player is worth, the player will not get sold. So at the end of the day, Newcastle, Newcastle got to stump up the dosh if they want the player. You got to stump up. Same as Eze. Apparently his release clause is finished. No one met it, and now if you want to buy Eze, it's whatever figure Crystal Palace accept it, and whether you can get to a figure close enough that they'll accept. I think what clubs did with Eze, I'm not sure, is that when the release clause was 50 million or 60 million with 8 million in add-ons, I think most of the money they wanted it up front, didn't they?
Yeah.
But now that that's that's timed out. If you now bid for the player, it's going to cost you more than that, but you can probably pay in installments. But you've got to meet the figure they want for him, and that's like any player that they've got. You've got to meet the figure.
Yeah. I wonder what they want for Eze, because he'll be a fabulous addition to our side.
I reckon Eze don't go for any less than 70 million.
Yeah.
No less.
If
it was 68 before, I don't think it's any less than 70. It'd probably be, I'd probably say probably 80 million minimum, to be honest. Because they'll want more for him.
Between 70 and 80, I reckon they'll want.
Yeah, but you can pay in installments, but it's whether people want to do that or not. So it remains to be seen whether Eze moves anywhere in the next 8 days, sorry.
So are they willing to take installments now? Because before they weren't, were they? They wanted it all up front.
Yeah, because there was a release fee clause.
Yeah.
Right, and you have to meet that release fee clause, and they weren't going to budge on the amount that they wanted up front. They weren't budging on that, right?
Yeah.
And now that clause is finished, they could probably, if you offered them more money now than what the release fee clause was, right, then you can do different payment terms, because the release fee clause is where it said that they wanted X amount up front. So I think that's what may have happened. Niall says Arsenal finally close to signing Marino, and Eddie is apparently going to Forest.
So Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I think Arsenal wanted 50 million for Nketiah at the start of the transfer window, and Marseille laughed at them and then left and didn't come back to the table. And now Arsenal prepared to accept 30, which
that's more like it.
I still think 30 is still a lot of money, but each to their own. Daniel, good evening, Daniel. I hope you're well, sir. Says big up. Kraft played last year, Jose. They had a crisis last year when they played us and still battered us 4-0.
I know. Flipping hell. They had so many players out and we still got battered.
Look who you got here. You got Smithy saying.
Yeah, he'll beat us on Saturday.
He says that he's in the Antwerp all the time anyway.
Yeah, he goes, that's his local. Right, so last match I couldn't go, right? I couldn't go. It's so disappointing, the Bayern Munich game, right? I was going to meet Lee Smithy Smith. I did go, sorry. I went, but I couldn't meet him because I was with my cousin. So I could have blown my cousin out for Lee Smithy Smith quite easily, but I stayed loyal to family. I had to. And he's only 22, the lad. He needed guidance from the Queen, like a stadium tour.
Yeah. You got this one from Niall. You might want to answer it. Can you see Rebecca Welch reffing more men's games? I think she's brilliant and fantastic and one of the best in the business. Do you know Rebecca?
Yeah, she's a referee. Yeah, she's a top referee. I can see women refereeing men's matches very soon. We've got the lines women or lines person, as they like to call them now. I think you just call them by what linesman, player of the month. They say man of the match. I like man of the match. I don't like player of the match.
Yeah.
We don't say woman of the match. We usually say player of the match because it sounds silly. But man of the match, that's what it's called, isn't it? Why change it just to be politically correct? Nah, come on.
And then you've got people saying hello to each other. So Ryan G saying good evening, Jose and Ellie. Good evening, Ryan.
Wolves fan.
And Gary says Xerxes is the definition of a false nine. I know people hate that term, but that is exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Nita is saying Ange needs to let the team watch our 2 games against Newcastle from last season, which is called Rocket Time. Result needed. We got to step up this season. We have to get a grip in our weak areas, right?
Yeah.
And as speaking, you should look at that. Talking ball, Colin, big up Jose and Ellie. Woo. Don't forget to like the stream, Colin, because I know that you're a bit tight-fisted when it comes to stuff like that.
Mwah for him, mwah to his lovely mum Julie, and mwah to his lovely wife Beth.
There you go.
What a lovely lot.
Loads of love going the Seavers way.
Yeah, Seavers.
And then you've got what's he saying here? Man United have Xerxes, Ellie. He's a goal scorer, scored against Fulham and Hoyland, etc. Right, yeah, Hoyland. I rate Hoyland
Yeah, he's a
personally.
good player.
I said last season that I rate Hoyland.
He
Right,
needs to bed in. He's had. Is this his second season or his
yeah,
third season? Is his
second
second
season,
season?
but he's
Yeah.
injured.
So yeah, he got quite a few injuries and he
He's
broke
injured.
his
Yeah,
momentum, didn't it? Yeah.
he's injured now. So,
Yeah.
but we shall see what happens when he comes back.
Yeah.
Nita is saying, I can't wait to tune into Ellie and Ash.
Ooh.
Big up, ladies. TTWD. Um,
Tottenham
so,
women till I
yeah,
die.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah. Just
Yeah.
the harmless potato says Her Majesty Queen Ellie
Oh
Hoybier.
man. Yeah.
She's changed her name, and then
Yeah, I
you've got
have. But you know, because some people just know me as Queen Ellie Hoybier, don't they? They're not going to change.
and then you got Quest saying respect to Queen Ellie.
Ooh, mwah.
And then, as I said, Colin is saying, I can't listen as work is kicking my ass today, but glad to see your lovely faces. And then he
Yeah.
says, wish me luck that I don't scream at anyone. Angelo Tyro says, am I getting
Woo,
one of them kisses then? There you go, Angelo. There's a kiss for you.
Angelo.
And
I
then
love
Smithy
that
says,
name.
Jose, I only asked the other night if you was coming to a game, and now you are. I won't need to get Smithy Airlines out. Right. I saw your comment, Smithy, the other night, and I thought to myself, I can't say nothing at the moment because it wasn't guaranteed that I was going to get a ticket. But I had been, from the beginning of this week, I had been putting feelers out to try and get a ticket. And guess what, Smithy? I've already started the feelers to see whether I can get an Arsenal ticket as well for the next home game.
Yeah.
So I've already started putting the feelers out for that as well, Smithy. So there we go. Um,
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of people that sometimes they can't go to matches because they've got a wedding or they've got a party to go to, or they just can't go because somebody's ill in their family, unfortunately, you know. So
yeah,
you'll always get a ticket, especially with that guy who's going to get this ticket for you because he's got a big community, and I got free tickets off him last season.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then you've got Ryan G says Queen Ellie Scarlet.
yeah,
No, it
because I
doesn't
like
have
Dane Scarlett.
it doesn't have
I
the
know,
same ring,
but
does it?
nah. Do you know what though? Scarlet Pimpernel, isn't it?
And you've got Angelo says I've just fainted when you blew him that kiss, Els. And
Yeah.
then Nita says Talk Sport this evening from 4 till 7 was two of our own, JJ and Aaron Lennon with
Woo.
Jermaine Pennant.
Jermaine,
Nice listen.
Jermaine Genius.
And BBC Match of the Day has sacked JJ. Did anyone hear it? Apparently he was
Oh,
on. He was on. Yeah, he got sacked. He's been
they
sacked from
sacked
BBC.
him.
Yeah, he
Why?
got sacked because there's been complaints about him.
Oh,
But
about
no, it doesn't say anything more than that. They've just said that.
complaints about him.
Yeah,
He
BBC have
seems
received
like a
complaints about
nice
him.
guy.
They received complaints about him, and he's been dismissed from not
Oh,
only the
yeah.
one show, but from Match of the Day as
Oh, he's
well.
been dismissed from the one show as well.
Yeah, well, the one
Oh,
I think the complaints have come from the one show. To be honest with you, I don't think they've come from Match of the Day, but because he does both
wow.
for the company, he's been dismissed. And apparently, he was on live on Talksport when the news broke that the BBC had sacked him. I don't know whether anyone called in and started giving him
Oh my
ribs about it and
God.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that did happen
Yeah.
tonight.
What's
So
he been up to?
I don't know, but I was aware of that tonight. So, um,
Yeah.
and then you've got look at that. He says more like Queen Ellie Smithy Smith.
Mwah. I love Queen. I love Lee Smithy Smith. He's a lovely guy. Brr, brr. Richarlison, hopefully he'll get a look in against Everton because he scored 2 belters at their ground, didn't he? Whew.
Yeah, and then you got Romanshu here saying hello, hello Romanshu. Romanshu, are you one of the people that follows Ash P? If you are,
Oh,
let me know because I might have some news for you. If you are one of the people that does, right? We've
yeah.
got a question here, right? And it's come from Graham. I mean, now that we've talked, any questions, start firing them in because it is the Mop Up Show. We will
Yeah.
answer any questions. Right, Romanshu, it says, yeah, Romanshu.
Yes.
She's contacted me.
Come
Ash has
on.
contacted me, and
Yeah.
as of I'll show you now, so you're aware, Romanshu. So tell your friends as well. that Ash will be back.
She's back.
There you go.
There she is.
That's correct. Yeah, the 25th. So Ellie and Ash will be doing their ladies'
what my hair
takeover.
looks like without the hat.
They're gonna be doing the ladies' takeover shows every Sunday at 11 BST. Sorry, British summertime at the moment, which is going to change from British summertime. It's not till October, is it? Actually, it's 11 o'clock BST on Sunday. Yep, the thumbnail's up already, so the show's already been prepared. So if you're wanting to see Ash Mamanchu, she will be back with the Queen on Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Call her.
And then you've got the question is, right, and it's asked everyone. So people, what do you think? This is the first question we got to everyone. Would you start Odegaard on Saturday over BJ if Porro is a doubt? Spence straight in?
Yeah, I would play Spence in Porro's position because he's been defending very, very well. Going forward, he can offer you something as well. But Odegaard, I would definitely start him over BJ because he's a natural winger and he dribbles and he can take on his player. I didn't see BJ do that once, and he's not really that type of player. He sort of, if you put him in behind, he uses his speed to get it across the 6-yard box, or he'll finish a chance 6 or 7 yards out, right? But Odegaard, he looks the real deal. I like the way he plays. He's got very good high technical skills, well, close balls control, can run at pace, but beat players as well. That's what we need. And he can put in a decent cross. I think he scored 4 goals in 30 games, didn't he? So that was in a struggling side. So let's see what he can do for us. He hasn't been bought to warm the bench, just put it that way. He's been bought to give competition.
He only played that first season. That's all he's done. He's only played that first season. So.
Maybe Vincent Kompany recommended him to us. I don't know, because we had 2 games with Bayern and suddenly we got a Burnley player. But I do like him. What I've seen of him, I do like him. I mean, I'm no expert on him, but what I've seen, all the clips, and I've watched quite an extensive amount of clips, and I like what I see.
All right. Yeah. So right. So to say that, right. So I was just about to say this, but I've just seen a comment come in from the Spurs insider. Right. Okay. So to answer this, right, today Tottenham have released training videos. Tottenham have released training videos, and in that
on Instagram,
and in that Odegaard is playing down the right. Yeah. Now there's some confusion because I thought Odegaard did play down the right, but some people were saying that Odegaard plays on the left. Now I'm thinking that Odegaard plays down the right, not down the left.
But he played down the right.
Did he? So at the end of the day, so he's been training, and all the videos show you him playing down the right. Okay, so in training, but the player that wasn't filmed at all in training was Dominic Solanke was not filmed. It wasn't at training. He weren't filmed today at training.
Oh, why was that?
But the Spurs insider have released a tweet saying, regarding Solanke, I've been told he got a minor knock in training yesterday and missed today as a precaution. Should be okay for Saturday. I would say take this with a pinch of salt, though. We'll get an update from Ange. Tomorrow. So obviously there's a presser tomorrow, so we'll know tomorrow. But he did not train today.
Okay. I'm just looking at last seat. Yeah, he did play on the right. Odegaard. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, for me, do I start him or not? Right. So for me, Graham, what I will say, I mean, I don't know how you feel, mate, but watching Brennan Johnson last season, he looks a bit like Højbjerg last season. There were some players that were impact subs that came off the bench and did jobs for us. And I've got Brennan Johnson came off the bench and did bits and pieces last year when he came off the bench because you had players that were tiring or whatever. And it seems like when he comes off the bench, it seems like for the naked eye test from last season and watching him on Saturday, right? It seems like that when he comes off the bench and people are a bit tired, right? He's prepared to run at them. On Saturday, the classic was when he made that tackle, Ellie, and he's won the ball, right?
Yeah.
And after winning the ball, he started to go up down the pitch, but instead of bombing on, I don't know what he was doing. You know when people used to take the, I don't know. You know when people used to take the piss on the football pitch, right? You'd nutmeg someone and sell him for an hot dog, and then what you do is you wait for him to come back again, and then try and do him again, right? And take the piss. He looked like he was trying to take the piss, because he's tackled the player, won the ball, and instead of bombing down the line with it like any winger would do, he sort of like went really, really slowly and let the player come back at him.
Oh no!
And I was just like, what?
Ridiculous.
And then he lost the ball, didn't he? So
yeah, it's like he saw another hot dog vendor along the way and stopped, didn't he? You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know what's wrong with the kid. You know, he offers something off the bench, but when he plays a full game, the only game I can remember of any significance when he started was Aston Villa away, where he played quite decent.
We won 4-0.
Any other game where he started, nah, he doesn't offer. It's better to bring him on as an impact sub, like Liverpool when they used to bring on Steve McManaman.
Yeah.
No, not Steve McManaman.
Steve Highway.
Fairclough. Steve Highway was the first 11. It was Fairclough.
Yeah, I know. So Steve Highway was a winger, weren't he, for Liverpool back in the 70s.
As well.
He was a very good player with his cash and all that. And longevity,
him and Alan Devonshire of West Ham.
Yeah,
I remember
they were brothers. They were brothers from another mother. They looked the same, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
We got Ronnie saying Solanke's injured. Milton is saying supposedly JJ was sexting a female worker.
Oh.
Dry roasted peanut saying plus no Richie. Says plus no Richie. I think he means he weren't training today. Ronnie says Odegaard has to start Saturday.
Yeah.
Nita is saying Tottenham till I die is always me, but I love my man. The women who play for our team, I love them too. Tottenham.
Women till I die.
Tottenham till women die is for the Tottenham Hotspur diehard. Know that. Then you've got Dry Roasted Peanut says Johnson needs space in behind to work.
Yeah, he does.
Graham is agreeing with us, saying, I agree, Jose, best I've seen from Johnson has come from the bench. Yeah. Ronnie is then saying, damn. If Dom is not fit, I would play Kulu as a forward. So Vicario, Porro, Romero, VDV, Udogie, Biss, Bergvall, Madders, Son, Kulu, Odegaard. Right. Ellie, for you, it's interesting what Ronnie's put there, right?
Yeah.
Right, because on the one hand, right, Postecoglou at last week's presser said that internally Tottenham have suspended Bissouma for the Leicester game, but they said no more, so we don't know whether he's going to be suspended for any more than that game. They only said that he was suspended for that game. They didn't elaborate.
They haven't said anything. They're going to bring him back.
Okay, they didn't elaborate. They didn't go into any detail, right? But in the same interview, or in the same questions that he was asked, he turned around and said that Bissouma has let the club down.
Yeah.
Has let me down, the manager and the coaching staff, and has let the players down. And he has to be reintegrated the squad. He has to get the trust of me and the coaching staff, the club and the players. Is a week enough time for him to get that reintegration, do you think?
You don't know, because football clubs are very forgiving in general with their players. So, and we do really need him, even though he didn't play particularly well for us last season. He had some brilliant games early doors, but then he fell off the wagon. He's still an important member of that team, and he's got experience. And sometimes you just need that little bit of guile and experience to get you through matches. He might not contribute as much as we think he should do, but he's got a point to prove now. he's got to step up, because Basuma, we know he's a better player than what he's showing. We do. Right?
Who'd you play in your three then? If you're picking your side, who's your
that's
three?
a hard one. Right, so Sarr didn't have a particularly good game. Bentancur's going to be ruled out, isn't he? Because of the
concussion. You can't play 7 days. That takes it till Monday.
I would say it was going to be Sarr, Basuma, and Madders. That would be the three.
Who's the most defensive-minded of the three of them?
I'd say Sarr.
Because Bentancur last week against Leicester, I thought he had a brilliant. I thought he played really well.
He really played well.
I thought he was top.
Experience.
I was saying tick, tick, tick. He was receiving balls on the left foot, on the right foot. He was passing with his left foot and his right foot, and he just ticked it over.
Yeah.
And then he was the. If you look at the heat map, he was the nearest person to our two centre halves all the time.
Yeah.
So we had that protection, if you like, that people say we didn't have. We did have it, right? Now, who's going to provide that protection if needed on Saturday? And that's what I don't understand.
I think Sarr can do that job, because he's done it like where he runs forever, doesn't he, Sarr? He just had a particularly bad game against Leicester. He didn't really get on the ball a lot. And when he did, he was very wasteful. So we know Sarr can play better than that. You know, we saw it last season. He was probably our best midfielder, most consistent as well. So I'm not going to throw him under the bus just because of one match. But I mean, if Basuma doesn't play, I reckon Bergvall will get put in, because he was like, I love the way he looks for the ball, and he's so cool, calm, and collected. All right, he ain't the perfect player yet, but he will get there, because he's only 18 and he's learning, and he's strong. He's 6'2". He's strong. He's powerful. It's very hard to get the ball off him, and he commands the ball as well, and he follows the ball, which I like. You know, where he's very close to the ball all the time, looking for it, and he asks the players to pass to him. So he's got that element of, you know, he can command the midfield at that young age. That's fabulous. We saw that when Hoddle came into our team. You know, let's see what else this boy can offer, because I've seen him, you know, the clippets of his play, but what I've seen of him in pre-season, I've been quite impressed with him, you know, because it's like the ball's part of his body when he receives it, right? And he uses it very well.
You're talking about your family member, aren't you? Because your name is now your name is now Bergvall.
So I've got to back him, right? So if Basuma has been sent out to the dogs, you know, and he'll be the car park attendant, I think Bergvall will step in very nicely, because he's a very good footballer. You can see the boy. He's very cool, calm, and collected. I like that about him, you know, and he brings a certain calmness to our game, because sometimes we're a bit frantic, aren't we?
Yeah, we bring a certain je ne sais quoi to the game.
Yeah, he does.
You have Graham says his midfield three would be Gray, Bergvall, and Madders.
Gray, I don't know about, because I haven't seen enough of him yet.
Romanshu says, I can't understand why some people don't like Sarr. He does everything. Right, Romanshu, right? To be honest, right, Sarr, last week against Leicester, all he did was run. He didn't go nowhere, just ran. So there was no end product, Romanshu. This is against Leicester. There was no end product. He just ran.
Yeah.
But he didn't run and make that late burst into the box. He didn't do that. He ran to the left, he ran to the right, he ran forward, he ran backwards, but he didn't do nothing of note. He just ran. And at the end of the day, you need a bit more. You need him to get hold of the ball. I mean, he's still young, remember? He's still young, but you need him to get hold of the ball, put his foot on the ball.
Demand the ball as well, like
demand it, and maybe run in transition with the ball as well. So you attack space with the ball at your feet, and that's what we want to see. But that will come with experience. This stuff will all come. But at the end of the day, no one's. I don't not like Sarr. I just found that on Monday, And some of last season as well. It's not just Monday's game. Some of last season as well. I just think he ran for the sake of running. And you know, at the end of the day, if the football match was based on competitions of running, well, then we've got the gold medalist in our team because he can run all day.
Yeah.
But it's just, what do you do with that running? What do you do that affects the game with that running? I mean, I
Yeah.
understand if you took players, you could run and you could take players away from the play, right? So you occupy players, right? But he doesn't even do that where he occupies players. You know, and I think this will come. He just needs to learn about the game because he's still only 21. You got to remember that 2 to 3 years ago, he was the African Young Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So he was highly sought after, and we got him for we got him for basically nothing.
He's still
You know.
developing as a player, isn't he, Jose?
Yeah.
And also, what I like about Sarr, he will fight for the team, right? All right, he had a particularly bad game in that game and a few other. What he's got to do is channel his inner Kante, because Kante for Chelsea, he runs a lot, but he runs with purpose. Yeah. So you can't just run around the pitch and not affect the game. You've got to look for the ball, make angles for yourself, create something, and get stuck in and do everything that number 6 role needs for you to be recognised as a top number 6, because he's not really an 8, is he? He's not really an 8. I know Postecoglou doesn't really like playing a 6, as I've been told, but he does sort of do that role where he stays behind and then he bursts through. But he's got to learn how to use those running exercises more effectively.
Yeah.
And that will come with experience, because Bentancur's there, he's teaching him, all right? And I would watch Kante videos if I was him, because that would be my role model, because he's the same sort of player but without the experience. So just affect the game a bit more and get more involved with the ball rather than just running around.
So he was also saying, do you guys know which team had the best PPDA last season?
I don't even know what PPDA is.
Rimanshi, let us know what PPDA is, and then we can answer that.
Let's have a look.
Nita says the changes. Will Ange make them? Do you think Ange is ruthless enough to step up and bring in and us the new players that we have bought?
It stands for passes per defensive action.
I haven't got a clue then. I don't know who the best PPDA was last season. Right, Nita's asking, will Ange make the changes? Is he ruthless enough to bring in new players that we have bought? But we can answer that in a second. I just want to say, Noel's saying good night, bedtime for him.
No,
and then he's saying great show, night. See you all in the morning. Yeah, take care, mate. See you in the morning. And then you've got Leo. Leo's just come in. Leo. Huge hugs.
He's coming to stay with me in November, young Leo. Yeah, he's going to stay at the house.
Well, I'm going to have to see if I can get to another game then in November so I can see Leo as well.
Come on, bring it on. That's my birthday month as well, Jose. So
and my daughter's 18 in November as well.
November's where it's at.
Steve D says, Sarr is underwhelming for me. Can't fault his output, but we need more than a gazelle. Monday wasn't the exception, which is what I said. Right, Nita says... Right, so going back to Nita says the changes, will Ange make them? Do you think Ange is ruthless enough to step up and bring in and us the new players that we have bought?
I hope so, because like Bergvall, he's better than what we've got, what I've seen. Like, he offers more. Like, he's very commanding, and he wants the ball and he follows it as well. And he's just such a good player. Got really good vision, and he picks up really good pockets of space, right, and makes angles for himself. I love the way he plays. So that's why I put my name because David the Irish Hotspur, but I would have put it anyway because I love him. I think he's a really fabulous player. And Archie Gray, what I've seen of him at Leeds United, but he was playing in the Championship, remember? This is a step up now. It's the Premiership. So he's got to show his colours in the Premiership and really push on. You know what I saw against Bayern Munich, he wasn't as good as I thought he would be. But remember, you're playing top opposition there, all right? Especially in the first game because he got bullied, didn't he? But the second game, he had a little bit of an improvement, but not that much. So I'm looking to see if he can step up into the Prem. And then we've got the young guy who's joining us from Korea. I think he's joining us in January, isn't he? So he's out of the question. And who else we got? We've got Odeberts, which I believe should be playing on Saturday. Well, what I've seen of him, he's better than what we've got. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let's see what Ange does. Because he can't afford to get a draw because the fan base is going to go crazy again. I think nothing more than a win is going to satisfy these fans because it's not a bad result to get a draw at Leicester, but the way we played and how dominating we are, it was very disappointing that we didn't leave with 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. It was disappointing, but so let me. I know it's disappointing, right? Let me just say that Angelo says that he reckons that Gray will play at right back. Romanchu, yeah, we confirmed that pass per defensive action. We know what it now means, but we haven't got a clue. We haven't got a clue.
Let's hope we don't have to Google our next signing.
So I think someone needs to Google what team had the best PPDA in the Premiership last season, and then you'll get your answer. Angela Torres says Ange should build a team around Bergvall.
Yeah, he's really brilliant.
Need to say thank you for the answer, Eddie. We will see.
Yeah.
And Destiny 5 says Porro right wing, a Gray right back sounds good.
Yeah, I think that would work, you know. I really do. Because I don't think he trusts Spence quite as much as we think he does. Because he played him quite a lot in pre-season to have a look at him. But now when the crunch came, he never put him in, did he? He put Porro in. Yeah. So what does that tell you? It tells you that he doesn't rate him above Porro, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think Porro plays Saturday. I think Porro plays. I think Solanke plays, but we will wait and find out tomorrow because tomorrow is the presser for the matches. I don't think any teams did pressers today. Which is good because it means that everyone will do their pressers tomorrow, even for teams. I think the fixtures this weekend are as such that there's no Friday or Monday this weekend. It's just Saturday and Sunday. I think there are 7 games. I think I might be wrong, but I think there might be 7 games on Saturday, and there's 3 games on Sunday.
Apparently, we were the best PPDA. Spurs 8.8. And the worst was Forest with 17.7. Yeah, so we were the best passes per defensive action. We were the best.
So had worst with 7. He says had worst with 17.8.
Worst was Forest, it says.
What did they have?
17.7. EPL this season, Spurs 8.8.
What did we have last season, else?
Oh, but was that this season? Well,
I don't know. What did Tottenham have? What was Tottenham's number?
Yeah, let me have a look. Let me put the season as well. 23-24. Go back. Right. 20. Stupid thing. Right.
Let me really think, because Romanchu's answering this, Dennis. So I just need to read it again.
Right.
What did Romanchu say?
He said best. Which
team
I saw that. This defense?
I saw. I'm just trying to understand. Right.
I'm trying to get it, but it won't.
Do you guys know which team had the best PPDA last season? Right. And he's now saying. You don't need to Google it. It was Spurs, second Arsenal, third Liverpool.
Yeah,
we had 8.8 PPDA,
8.8,
which means opposition can even make 9 passes before we take the ball away from them. Insane. And Forest had the worst with 17.8. Right, so you are right. Yeah, you're both right, Romanchu and Ellie, because Ellie looked it up. But instead of us having to look it up, Romanchu, if you had just told us, then it would have been a stat that we would have known from you, sir. But we looked it up. You've told us, but we looked it up as well. Angelo Taro says Bergvall pings the ball around like Hatate did for Ange.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is 7 Premiership games on Saturday, and there are 3 Premiership games on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to ask you for your
Score predictions.
score
No,
prediction. No, I'm not going to ask you
I'll
because
do them on Friday.
because
Tomorrow.
the prediction show's tomorrow, and if we said what we were going to go for, we'd kind of be giving it away, and
Yeah.
people would know what our armory is. So the prediction show's tomorrow at 4 p.m. for people that are interested in doing the prediction show. So 4 p.m. makes it in 16 and a half hours time. We will have the prediction show.
Yeah, I was looking at the Europa League as well tonight. Is on, right? And there's no tables when you click into the team.
No, because
there's no tables. They're playing each other 8 times. Is it?
No, there were qualifying times tonight. Qualifying games tonight.
Qualifiers. Okay.
Yeah, these are still the qualifiers to qualify for these competitions.
Okay. Yeah. So Ajax qualified because they won 4-1.
There's a second leg still to come. Destiny 5 says. Destiny 5 says.
2 games, yeah.
That's why I said that when they play next week, right? So they play their games next week, the return legs, and then on Friday morning there's the draw for the group stages.
Right.
And Friday morning is the draw for the group stages, and Friday evening is when the window shuts.
Yeah, I remember a lot of these teams we played.
So I've got a mop up show next Friday at 11 o'clock for when the window shuts. I've had it on there since May. I put it on there, so it's been a thumbnail and a show that's been prepared especially for that, because I did turn around and say, people asked me what my stance was and where I stood with everything, and I said I'll tell you when the transfer window shuts. So the big reveal will be in the mop up show next Friday.
The big reveal.
Yeah, and then you got Graham. Yeah, I understand. Graham says time to bed. Take care, Jose and Eddie. See you all tomorrow. Good night, Graham. Thank you very much, sir, and have a restful evening. And we shall see you tomorrow in the prediction show at 4 o'clock. And if you haven't done so already, those people that are in the competitions in the Fantasy Premier and in Predict the Prem, if you haven't done them, then get onto them, because you've got to do everything by tomorrow. And what I will do is, if you want to enter the Premier League predictions, the ones that we do online, that's the link. It's premier.predictthefootball.com, and you enter this code for the mini league, and it will take you to the LTEL Cockerel League.
Yeah.
And then further to that, we've also got. Let me see. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually copy it, because if I copy and paste it, then people might be able to do it themselves. So if people are interested in doing it, it doesn't matter if you're late to the party. You're more than welcome to do it.
I saw yesterday there's Champions League qualifiers as well.
Yeah, that's right. There's Champions League qualifiers.
Young boys. They beat Galatasaray.
Yeah, 3-2, but then Galatasaray still got to play at home. So
yeah, they've got to play a return leg, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So in the links now, I put the 2 links, and that is for the Predict the Prem and also for Fantasy Premier. If you want to enter, it's not too late. And a reminder to everyone, at 4 o'clock tomorrow, we will do the predictions, the old style predictions that we used to do on the shows. Nick's here. Roundtable Talk says, I'm just giving Jarl a head start.
Really?
Yes, Nick, you're giving us a head start.
That's what we want to know. Come on. I need a bit of sustenance.
Destiny, you're not in both, because you didn't. I don't think you entered the predictions last week, did you, Destiny? I don't think you did. I don't remember seeing your name. I've just checked. No, Destiny, you didn't do it. The people that entered you did do it last week. Yeah, you did. It's because you was the first person to put your prediction in last week. So yeah, I've got you. So at the moment, we've got me, Destiny 5, Scott Colliver, Carl Simpson, Ryan G, Kuva, Scott M, Spurs GCTV, John Michael, Ronnie, Hanno, Jay Ashraf, Phil Coys, Peter Kagaya, Steve D, Ian Meth, Rob Belcher, John Leeds United, Garside, David Clark, DJ Samuel, Rakdos Madness, Adrian, Mr. M, Lee Wiskid, Dan Coys, Chris Peters, Inner Hype, David Shear, Julie Tottenham Mum Sievers, Colin, Dave Williams, and Tot Spurs. So yes, last week we had 32 people enter. So tomorrow will be the next one.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot more joining.
Yeah, you're in the online one as well, Destiny. Yeah, and you've done the 4 o'clock one yesterday as well. So, and Romanshi says, guys, what's your opinion on Son?
Oh, Sonny. He didn't have a good game against Leicester, really. He was checking back a lot. Just seemed like he wasn't 100% that match sharpness. You know, he had the spirit to do it, but he just didn't have the guile to go past the player. And he was a bit tentative, wasn't he? And he was passing back, so he didn't have a particularly good game. In fact, he had quite a bad game for his standards. So I'm looking to see if he can step up for the Everton game, because, like I said, you got players will have bad games, right? But we want him to have more good games, because he is a good winger, right? But I'd like to see Sonny do some bangers, and we're not set up for him to score those sort of goals. It's like we're passing side to side, give it to Sonny, and then he crosses against the 6-yard or 8-yard box. Yeah. So that's the way we're playing now. It's a shame, because he's one of the most deadliest with his left foot, right foot from outside the box. Well, we were used to that with Sonny, but we're not getting it anymore. And it's just a big shame, because that was a big part of his game.
My opinion, Romanshu, and it's difficult, because I can go and not think about it, right, and say to you straight away that I said 2.5 years ago, or whatever, we should sell Sonny if £100 million bid comes in for him, because I'm a football man, I'm not a money man. And where I mean not a money man is Son being kept because he's a good footballer at Tottenham, or is he being kept because he's a cash cow to the club? And that's the question that I can't answer for you. But for me, I want a footballer. I don't want a cash cow, and I want a footballer. So, but with saying that, within my answer is there could be loads of different reasons. Is Sonny carrying the weight of the team? Is he thinking too much about it? Is he carrying the weight of the team on his shoulders? Is it because Sonny has lost pace? Sonny's not a touchline winger. Sonny is an inside forward. And what Ellie's saying about him cutting in and hitting the bangers, right?
Yeah.
So that you've got that, you know, and at the end of the day, the only thing that I'd say is that although I've said what's been proven to me, right, for definite now, is when I said this comment about Sonny 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I posted it on Glory Tottenham Hotspur on a Facebook page, because they got thousands upon thousands of members there, and I posted a comment there saying, would you get rid of Sonny if £100 million bid came for him? ? And then I put down, I would get rid of him. I would take the 100 million and I would buy Mohamed Kudus of Ajax and Manuel Ugarte of Sporting Lisbon. God, the amount of abuse that I got from people. How dare you sell Sonny? Blah 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 blah.
It's because he's well loved.
Yeah, I got that abuse, right, telling me that I'd need my head tested and all sorts, right? But if and Destiny 5 is hit the nail on the head on what I was going to say, right? I turned around and I'm thinking about it now, because I said this 2.5 years ago, right? If we were to sell him and I knew that the money was being reinvested, then I would sell him. But going by what happened with Harry Kane last year, I ain't too sure whether we should sell him, because did we reinvest the money in another forward?
No.
So some would say we haven't. You know what I mean? So it's
he
a hard
was
question.
Top scorer last season, the most assists.
Yeah.
I think it was 16, 17 goals, wasn't it? And was it 14 assists? Something like that, wasn't it? It was near the mark. But the thing is, with Sonny, right, he's like an ambassador on the pitch. And when he gets off the pitch, the amount of people that wait for him to just get a little glimpse of him. And it's not just Korean fans. There's loads of British fans there as well. Because I've been there waiting for the cars to come out. Yeah. Oh, my God. He's so well loved. And the way they talk about him is like he's the Messiah, you know. Like, you know, Colin, he done Korean Jesus. I'm walking QPR's ground with that T-shirt on, and I'm getting so much love for Sonny because everybody loves him, even other opposition fans. But I agree with you, right? He has lost a little bit, but if he's given that free role that somebody's mentioned in the chat, I didn't see it, but I think he's gone up now, right?
I'll find it because let me just say hello. Hold on.
Right,
let's just say hello. So Nick's saying afternoon, Jose and Ellie, and then you can carry on. And you've also got who else says hello? You've got Size here, Side Dancer. He's saying evening to everyone.
Evening, Side Dancer.
And I think we've caught up with the ones that I've not said hello to yet properly because it's rude of me. I commented on what Nick said earlier about giving a head start, but I didn't comment on him saying hello to us. So that was rude of me. So good afternoon, Nick, and good evening, Side Dancer. Go on, sorry, carry on, Ellie.
Like there's
what
comment here as well, apart from the other one. Without Son's goals, we are screwed. The thing is, without Son's assists as well.
There you go. Look, 31 goal contributions in 38 games, Sonny.
Yeah, and we would get more goals if he was given that free role, like that fan said just earlier, right? And if he was given a free role just to roam around that 18-yard box and pick up the ball, not just be hogging the wing, and then get those bangers for us, because that's what gets fans off their seats as well. When you score a worldie, we're too predictable, right? And we're too stereotypical when we're just crossing the ball across for tap-ins. That's all very well, but you've got to mix your game up. Yeah, you've got to have bangers from out. And Madders has got a good shot on him. Porro's got a fantastic shot on him. Let's use it. That's in our weaponry. And we're falling short because of it, because we're not scoring those extra goals that we could create from outside the box. It's such a shame, because that's what gets me up on my feet. When Son scored against Leicester, that hat-trick. Fantastic hat-trick. All right, the third goal was just like a pass from Højbjerg, and he just banged it in and the goalie muffed it. But the two other ones were brilliant goals. Like they get your jaw dropping.
And good evening, Hasper. Good evening, Harry. I hope you're well, Harry. I hope you're well, mate. So going back up.
Make sure you get TJ to come on the shows as well, Harry, because we love TJ as well.
Romanchu's saying it's sad to see him struggling against Leicester. He used to be our best player. I hope he gets his form back. It's hard to see Tottenham without him, but we need to look elsewhere if he can't perform. Ronnie says, one game in, Son will be fine. He will be our top goal scorer against this season. Solanke will give him a run. What I want, Ronnie, is I want top joint goal scorers. I want 20 from Son, 20 from Solanke, and 20 from Richarlison. And then I want 10 from all the midfielders each. And then if we've done that, we've got 100 goals.
We've got a chance of winning the league then.
And that's not including defenders. That's not including defenders. That's not including defenders, is it? Bloody hell. Daniel Coy says, been quiet, Daniel. Not many comments. I don't know if he's working or whatever, but he says, based on the fact this club has no proven quick track record of replacing top quality players who played for our team, I wouldn't sell Sonny. And that's why I said a bit of, Daniel, that my thoughts is to sell him because I'm more football than making money, right? But if you're not going to reinvest the money properly in replacing him, then there's no point selling him. However, what I will say, because it's just come to my head, we've got the new Korean Sonny apparently that we've bought already, haven't we? We've got his replacement already lined up. We've got him apparently lined up already. Another cash cow for the future. A player that we're getting to the club earlier than we got Sonny to the club. I don't know how old Sonny. What Sonny must have been
from Bayer Leverkusen.
What was Sonny? Was Sonny 21, 22?
Yeah, I think he was around about that age when we signed him, about 2021.
But this player's younger. So we're just basically
he's 18 at the moment, isn't he, the player?
Yeah, so basically we're getting his replacement, but a lot younger.
Who
else we got here? You've got How's it saying? Son should be an impact or rotational player at this point. Nita says, Son will score goals for us, but can no longer rely on him for it.
Okay.
Romanshi says, I have a conspiracy theory that blames Conte is the reason for Sonny's form has dipped. Have you? Fair enough. Well, share it with us.
Share that. Share the conspiracy.
The issue is our wingers, apart from Son, are really bad.
Yes, that is very true.
Well, I want to see what Odebert's got. Might as well. We've seen everyone else.
He doesn't have to do much to be better.
Yeah, true. Right, you got Senor Smithy says, Senor Jose, Queen Ellie, Smithy Smith. I'm going to bed. I'm at a Reading Fest tomorrow, partying with the mighty Prodigy. So I'll see you hooligans on Saturday. Big love to all. Good night, Smithy. Go and smack the bitch up if you're going to Prodigy.
He'll have a lot of cider down there.
Yeah. Leslie says, lucky to get 6 from Richie, 10 if we're being fair. Richie scored 13 last season or something, Destiny.
Yeah, and he was all over the place with his mental health as well, bothering him. If he can get that part of his, thing right, and he's head in the game, he ain't that bad. And I like the way he presses. He brings something to the team. Just put it that way. He's not the best, but he's what we've got. So we've got to go with it. With Solanke. Solanke's got his place anyway. He's going to get ahead of Richie, isn't he?
Yeah,
unless he doesn't start scoring.
The thing is, though, we saw a bit of against Leicester. He took out Richie. Sorry, he took out Son and replaced him with Richie.
Yeah.
Right. So, to me, I think Son will start on Saturday. I think Son will start Saturday, but it just shows that we have got players that we can rotate, because that's where Richie played for Everton, was on the left.
Yeah.
That's exactly where he played for Everton, was on the left. So, so there are rotations that can be done. And I suppose he needs to find the right balance and the right chemistry for a given game at a given time, because some players could be smashing it for fun in training, right? And they get picked on the form that they've shown and what they've shown in training, right? So we've got players to rotate there. He's just got to find the right mix for every game that we play. Is what my thoughts are. Romanchu says he wants 20-20-20 from all the forwards and 10 each from each midfielder. That's more than I score in my backyard. No, I was saying if we had 3 joint top goal scorers and we got a whole lot of goals from the midfielders, and that's not including defenders, then that's a lot of goals you're scoring. Let's see. I don't know. I sent out a message to the people in my WhatsApp group, and not everyone responded, but I asked the question of who's going to be the player of the season, how many goals are we going to score, how many goals we're going to concede, how many points will we end up with, and stuff like that. And it's interesting to see how many goals people think we're going to score, because if you outscore your opponent, you win the game. So we just need, and that's what we didn't do on Saturday in the first half. We had all the possession, we'd done everything, we just didn't put it in the back of the onion bag. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do at the weekend and going on. Destiny says, Yang and Lancashire, the next Kane and Son.
Nice. Lancashire scored a worldie against Bristol Rovers.
He got injured, didn't he, in that game? I think
Did he? I didn't know that. I know that he scored a fantastic goal. Brilliant.
I've got a feeling that he pulled his hammy in that game.
Oh, no.
I've got a feeling. I'm not sure because the club haven't said anything yet. I think he got injured in that game. Daniel Coy says the Kane situation and not even attempting to replace him the same summer or even try shows you why we can't do the same to Sonny. And I've alluded to that, Daniel, haven't I? I've actually said that. Destiny 5 says hopefully Solanke can mentor Richie and teach him to stay calm in front of goal. DC says people forget Richie was the only one scoring while Sonny was at the Asian Cup.
Yeah, he was.
Ronnie says everyone's singing "Nice One, Sonny" Saturday when he bags a hat trick. Destiny 5 says someone get dropped unless it's a cup game due to the demand of the Korean tourism. Levy will burn him out like he has already. Smithy says, please don't Slate Richie people. I can still hear you all without being here. Prue, prue, all every day. All day,
No,
every day.
I like Richarlison.
We haven't.
You can
We
offer
actually,
a bit.
yeah, we actually haven't slated him, so we haven't. So your ears are fine. Destiny 5 says, Potts for Spurs will be Romero. Player of the season will be Romero.
Yeah.
Adrian says that Son will get us 15 goals minimum. And we've got a good evening from Scott Hyam. Says, big up all coys. Good
Nice
evening
one,
to you,
Scott.
Scott. I hope you're well. So yeah, is anyone got any further questions that they want to ask?
Just seeing this Lancashire injury.
Well, but they haven't announced anything.
No.
Someone said he's pulled his hamstring. He's had to come off. Now Lancashire didn't take one of the penalties, Ellie.
Oh no, he would have been one of the penalty takers,
And
wouldn't he?
he didn't take one of the penalties. So someone said that.
Yeah, it says here, Alistair Gold shares the latest he's heard on Will Lancashire's injury. This was 9 hours ago. However, Spurs are currently sweating on Lancashire's fitness as he suffered an apparent hamstring injury on Tuesday night.
And that's what I thought I heard.
It's apparent. It doesn't confirm it.
Yeah, but and that's exactly what I heard on Tuesday night. Someone said that he's come off, he's pulled his hammy. I saw that on Tuesday night while the game was on. I don't know. I think he's come off before the 90th minute. Because I know he definitely didn't take
scans,
a penalty.
It says. Subsequently going for the scans to determine the extent of the issue. So they're not had the results back yet. Maybe Monday. Or maybe even the weekend. We don't know. But the club will let us know, won't they?
Yeah, you've got Side Dancer says, I watched last night. He's been helped back onto the pitch. Destiny says, Lancashire is okay. It was a precautionary substitution. Ryan G is saying that Everton have loads of players out, apparently. Talk and Ball, Mr. Collins says, if Son could play a decent cross into the box, he might work in his system, but he either can't or won't. Either way, not good. Adrian is coming in with, I hope we buy Vanderson, who is a baller at right back, right midfield, and right wing. And I spoke to Adrian yesterday. Adrian's on fire about this Anderson, so he's letting you all know because he's on fire about Anderson. Destiny 5 says he looked fine when talking to the doctor on the bench. Finn, good evening, Finn. So it says big up Jose and everyone in the chat. Finn, good evening, sir. I hope you are well.
Finn Rickwood. Yeah, it doesn't really confirm yet whether it is a hamstring, but later on it said the results will be out today, right? And then it says, let me just scroll back. The Spurs Insider wrote in the latest Q&A, Will needs to recover from a hamstring injury suffered in the trophy match on Tuesday night. So that's confirmed that he has got a hamstring injury.
Like I said, I heard reports on Tuesday night that he'd pulled his hamstring.
Yeah.
Or that he had a hammy. But we'll have to wait and see because
what's that, a 3-4 week job, isn't it?
Depends on what the grade of tear is.
Depends on the extent, yeah.
It depends on what grade the tear is. Because who had a hamstring tear for Spurs?
Well, Van der Ven, isn't it?
Van der Ven, that's it. And he had a grade 2. And he missed nearly 12 weeks, didn't he, with a grade 2 tear?
They didn't operate on his one, though, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Nick's brilliant, and Nick's saying, I'm starting the rumour, Rafinha to Tottenham.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd
be so good because he can score goals as well.
Destiny 5 says, I agree with Adrian. Vanderson's a good option for us. Right, with what Ryan said, the easiest way to check up, right, if Everton have got injuries, do you know which the easiest way to do it is? And I can plug this at the same time, right? The easiest way to do this right is doing this, right? So when you're doing fantasy football league, right, you can go into it and you can do as if you're going to do transfers, and you pick a team. So I've picked Everton Can you see it there on the right-hand side? Can you see all the players, Ellie, on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I can see all the players. Yeah.
Right, and when you look at the players, the ones that have got a red symbol against them means that they're injured. So
Yeah,
Brathwaite,
I just put Everton injuries and it came up as well.
yeah, Brathwaite has got a groin injury and he's out.
James Garner,
Coleman's
Nathan
out.
Patterson,
Patterson's out. Young's suspended.
Mitty.
It says Garner's out, and yeah,
Coleman's out. Ashley
Chemiti.
Young.
Yeah,
James
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, out Tarkovsky as well.
Deli Ali, which is that's Deli Ali.
Yeah, Deli Ali.
Pelvic injury, it says.
Yeah, so but when I look, for me, if I've not heard any of the announcements, then I just quickly go and look.
Yeah,
and then find out from there.
They've got some really significant players in their squad missing, haven't they?
Yeah.
Quite a few injuries. Is that your team in the fantasy league?
Nah, this is my wife's team.
Your wife's team, okay.
Yeah. It's called G'day Cobber. So I'm just looking at her team. It's my wife's team.
Cobber. Well, she been speaking to David Shearer.
No, I picked it, and my wife enters it. My wife enters it, but I picked the team for her. So this is her team for this weekend, I think.
Nice.
She's got.
I might call mine the Pierrettes. Keep up the Hoybeer name.
But yeah, that's how I check if any players are injured. Now, obviously, the presses have got to go happen as well. So if I went to look for Tottenham, let me go to all players. Tottenham as a team, Spurs. So Spurs at the moment have just a yellow sign on Porro, right? And the yellow sign means he's got a knock and he's got a 75% chance of playing.
He'll play.
And then you've got a yellow sign for Bentancur, which says head injury, 50% chance of playing. He's not playing, right?
No,
but then it's got Bissouma in red.
Yes, because he's like not
right.
considered, maybe.
Bissouma says made unavailable for selection by his club, but expected back at the moment on the 24th of August, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, Saturday. Saturday's the 24th of August. And then going on to the next page, we've got any injuries there? No, it just says Lancashire. So Lancashire hasn't got an injury according to this yet. But anyway, that's where I look, apart from listening to tomorrow. No, Destiny, have you played this before? Have you played? Are you in the fantasy Destiny? I don't know whether you are or not.
If he isn't, get in there, Destiny.
Right, I don't want to cast aspersions and say that he's not in it because he might well be in.
Yeah.
It's just finding if he's in there, what his team's called. Right, Destiny's in there, right? So, right, Destiny, you asked the question, right? So I'm going to give it to you, let you know, right? And you've asked the question. So, the question that you've asked, you're 46, Destiny, yeah? But there's someone that's worse than you. If I go down, look here, you've got Eltel Cockrell is 53rd, yeah? See that? 53rd. But then if I start looking here, right, you've got someone called look at that, in 18th, Jose Garcia with 56 points.
Yeah.
And then in 12th place, you've got Lisa Garcia.
Nice.
60 points.
She's beating you, your wife.
Well, so Destiny says
who was top of the league? Who was top?
I'll show you that in a minute. So basically, he's asked me the question saying, so basically Jose has 2 teams. No, Jose has 3 teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got the one that I always play, the one that I play with before I created this league. And when I created this league, I thought, fuck, I'm gonna have to create one for Eltel Cockerell. So a team called Eltel Cockerell. So I did that, and then I've picked my wife's team. So I've ended up with 3 teams.
So you've got 3 times the charm, isn't it?
Yeah. Good evening to Mark Cooks. Good evening, Mark. I hope you're well,
Mark.
sir. Says Everton apparently only have 14 fit players for Saturday.
Yeah.
And then he
Flipping
says,
hell.
look, he does say, big up Jose and Queen Ellie Bergvall. So yeah,
Yes.
good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well. Romanshu says, so since we're not getting that all-action midfielder, since we have Gray and Bergvall, that money's going to be spent elsewhere, or no sign at all. Romanshu, the only word I'm going to say on this is, every article that's come out from the In the Nose, right, since May, right, before the season finished, 2 weeks before the season finished, right, all the way up until today, the ITKs have got every story wrong.
Yeah.
They haven't got one story right.
They should all get fired.
Well, you know, but this is what they do. This is how they get people to click onto their, and you know, they bait people in and stuff like that, and they get paid. I think you can get paid on shit, can't you?
Yeah, they get paid. You know, when adverts go on Google and all that, on YouTube, when they post their predictions on who's going to go where, they get paid for that. So they're making their money.
So they make money from doing this, Romanshu, and no one has got a story right yet. All the players that have been sold or bought by Tottenham have been done, or someone's got wind of it, and it's been announced within 24 hours. Like that, it's been announced so quick, and you know, all the stories about where our players were going to were completely wrong. And you know, so someone like Højbjerg, he was going to 4 different clubs, but no one had Marseille. No one had Marseille. Then the story came out he's going to Marseille, and within 24 hours he went. So
and
you know,
another story came out that he was locked up in my dungeon.
And they were true. They were unconfirmed reports. Unconfirmed reports.
I didn't tell his wife or my husband. I had
they
him now.
They were unconfirmed reports
He
at the
was
time.
looking super fit though, Højbjerg. Did you see him in his training session? Wow. He looked so super fit.
Yeah. So they've all got it wrong. Daniel Coy says, I saw the Dyche press conference earlier. Tarkovsky's 50-50. So Sean Dyche has done his press conference today, Daniel. I didn't realise that. I thought that the teams were all doing them tomorrow. I might have to go and have a look at that tomorrow morning. I won't look at it tonight because I've got to go to bed for work. So I won't look at it tonight, but I'll look at it tomorrow morning. And just a harmless potato says, yes, you can partner up with Shitter. Romano makes a fortune from Shitter. That's why he reposts his old stuff all the time. Fair enough. I didn't know that you can. Well, I was going to say they must be doing it for a reason. They've got to be doing it for a reason. I know that he sends out he sends out emails. I don't know how he gets people's emails addresses, but he sends them all out to say to people, join my sheet or something, or what is it? Join my mag or my magazine that I do, and you know, and at the end of the day, you pay X amount and I'll give you scoops and stuff like that. Well, basically, everyone has been wrong. Everyone. The only people that have been right is people like Ornstein and that, who get tipped off right at the end when something's happening. So when we bought Dominic Solanke, someone like Ornstein would have been tipped off, and all of a sudden the news broke about Solanke, and then within 24 to 36 hours he was signed. So nobody really knows what's going on. Everything's been kept close to their chest at Tottenham this season. And like I said before, we'd all like to know what's going on. We would all like to know who we're in for and that. And I think things will come out in the wash. I think things will end up coming out in the wash once the transfer window closes. And you'll hear loads of stories as well when the transfer window closes. The stories will be, some people will start putting news out there that we probably bid for Paulo Dybala again. And we probably went in and we were shy of giving them 2 goats and a pig that they wanted, and that we didn't get him. You just get all these mad, you just get these mad stories. You're gonna get these mad stories that come out, aren't you? So at the end of the day, we don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. We just have to wait and see. And I know it's frustrating. It is frustrating.
This is the picture of Højbjerg, if you can see it. Let's go out. Can you see it? He looks
Yeah.
super fit there. Flipping hell.
Let it go. Let it go.
The thing is, he's not the
Let it go.
greatest footballer. We all know that.
Let it
But
go.
I think it's a shame that we sold him. I
Let it
just think
go.
it's a shame.
Let it go.
Yeah, I have to let
Let
it
it
go.
go. Bergval's your
He's a
boy now.
Marseille player now, isn't he? So
Bergval's your boy now. Let it go.
yeah, Bergval, come on.
You got to put your
You've
eggs
got to
into one
move
basket.
on. Got to
You got to
move
put your
on.
eggs into the Bergval basket now.
Yeah, I like him as well.
Instead of number 5, you need to.
He nearly died against Bayern Munich, didn't he? He was choking.
Did you have? You know your Højbjerg top? Has it got his name on it? 5 and Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Well, you need to rub out the Højbjerg or colour it into white or whatever, and put a 1 beside the 5, and then you got Bergval.
Number 15. He's been
15.
cursed with Eric Dyer's number, the poor lad.
Yeah,
they should have given him. Well, Sonny's got number 7. He'll have that till he dies.
Yeah.
Number 10 was Harry Kane, but I don't. Who's got our number 10 now? Is it Maddison? Isn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Maddison considers himself the best player at the club because normally number 10 is given to the best player at the club. So I'm going to say to Maddison, give him your shirt, and you have number 15. I'll do an email tomorrow.
Nick saying at this point they're just giving out tier 1 status. Destiny saying basically like Romano the rat offering to spread rumours for 6k cash.
Yeah.
Quez is saying Langa has the ITKs grasping at straws. Just a harmless potato says, did you see the mad scenes from Dybala's house? Roma fans going mad. No, I didn't. What were they going mad about? Is he being sold or did he sign a new contract? I don't know. I was just jesting when I said Dybala. Yeah, you know, and then you got Ellie and Højbjerg sitting in a tree. Bergval is Ellie's toy boy.
Yeah.
And then she says, Destiny 5 says Baddison. Baddison, not Madison. Baddison.
Yeah. He has been Baddison. He hasn't played well since his injury, has he? Really, he hasn't had one standout game where you think, Maddison, that's the real Maddison that we. But like, what's his name? Dave Clark in Leicester. He said he goes up and down with form. He was like that at Leicester, so it's no new thing, right? So I just want to see him start. He created our goal for Porro, which was a good ball in, but he has to do more of it. You know, I want to see him command the ball and like get on the ball, command.
I'd like to see our players take shots from the edge of the box. That's what I'd like to see.
I know.
Reminds you saying number 10 is usually given to the main attacking midfielder. Just a harmless potato says Dybala rejected an offer from Saudi and he's staying at Roma. Fans were celebrating outside his house. And Destiny says,
he's 30 years old now. Dybala.
Destiny said, someone said build a team around Bergval earlier. I agree.
Yeah, the stories here about that.
Yeah, it goes without saying that, you know, at the end of the day, Tottenham's future, the present and future is going to be your Bergvals, your Greys, your Odeberts, your Yangs.
Yeah.
You know,
we've got to learn to love the other players now, Jose. The new players. You know, we've lost Kane, we've lost other players of significance in the past, right? We've just got to warm to the new players. And hopefully they'll step up and become even better players because they are very good young players. There's no doubt about that.
Destiny says Roman were there burning his house down if he said yes. And short and sweet from Adrian, Spurs will spank Everton.
I hope so. Come on, we got to do it. Jose, you're going to be there. We're going to spank them and score 4 goals outside the box.
We've had a really nice show. We've had a really nice show. It's been nice and chilled. And Adrian brings a spanking to the table.
Give it a good old spank.
Nita says, Saka is 10 years younger, but Son has been running his backside off for us longer and has worn our badge well. Sonny, Solanke and Richarlison need to step up now. Step up too. Them 3 up front would be interesting. Like I said, I think that Tottenham have got options. Tottenham have got options. They have got
Because
options, but
they could play Sonny on the right if they didn't play Odebert there, or they could play him as a false 9, because then he can bang them in, give him a more freer role, and then get a proper left winger, you know, someone with a bit of experience but pace as well. Because Werner, he's got the pace, but he just hasn't got everything else in front of goal. Just hasn't got an awareness.
yeah, the thing is though, like I said, they've got players, isn't they? They've got players that they can rotate and change around. But
Yeah,
you've got to get the right balance. So whatever's happening on the training pitch, he needs to select from what he sees on the training pitch, like any
yeah,
manager, right? And
yeah,
hope that permutation on the day does the job for you, because that's why you pick your first 11, because you believe they're the ones that are going to go and do the job for you. But
yeah,
we have got so many, apart from defence, or no, I say we've got some permutations because we've got no injuries at the moment. So we've got some permutations for defence. But midfield and up front, the top 6 spots, we can rotate in so many different ways at the moment. But
yeah.
it's picking the right team on the day.
Of
Destiny
course.
5 says the Inter Milan fans get the mic and are allowed to tell players off when they fell off a few years ago. It's mad in Italy.
Yeah, that's the ultras, isn't it? They go
Yeah.
crazy.
Adrian says Spurs have scored more Premier League goals against Everton than any other team.
Yeah,
And Romanchu
that's
saying
good.
Bergvall has a good face. He's a very good player. Pretty soon he will be the face of the club. He is going to be the next Kaka.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I like him. He's very commanding, and he's a physical presence. He's 6'2". He's strong on the ball for his age, and he's only going to get better. So I'm looking forward to, because I put my name to him. So the last player I put my name to was Højbjerg, and I got so much stick. Unbelievable. The
Let it
first 2
go.
seasons, yeah, but the first 2 seasons, his first season at Spurs was fabulous under Jose Mourinho. Nobody can doubt that.
Let
It
it
was
go.
brilliant. Yeah.
Let it go.
But
You're
then I
Bergvall's
know I
boy
am
now.
letting it go, but I'm just
But you're not.
saying.
You keep still talking about him. Let it
Yeah,
go.
because
But
because I
Bergvall's your
put
boy.
my name to him, but now I've put my name to Bergvall, right?
So talk about
And
Bergvall.
Dave, the Irish Hotspur, put my name. He said change it, Ellie. So I did, right? Because I'll obey the Irishman from the Irish Hotspur. So it is.
Right. Do you know what? I'm gonna come do this today because I've got to go work tomorrow.
Yeah,
I've got
it's
work
bloody
nearly
getting
doors.
late, isn't it?
It's
12:23.
20 past midnight. Right. Again, can I say to everybody in the chat, I'm going to thank them first, Ellie, before I thank you. It should be ladies first, but I'm going to thank them first. Right. Thank you to everyone in the chat for coming in, listening to 2 old farts, or at least 1 old fart, that being me. And of course, my lovely Queen Ellie. And
Yeah.
making the show what it is important that you keep getting involved, because that's the only way that we can do the shows if you get involved. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
we'll just
And
sit there and rattle all day long, won't we?
also share the link with your friends and put it on your socials, right? Because that helps Jose. We want to get him to 600 at least, and then get him to 1,000 by the end of the year minimum. All right. So come on, everybody, help Jose, because he's fantastic. He's brilliant, and he talks sense.
And then tomorrow, just to remind people again, tomorrow we've got the prediction show at 4:00 BST. So for those that didn't enter last week, please tune in tomorrow and you can enter. If you were to miss any of the prediction shows, the only way that I will accept predictions, I'm not accepting them by any messages or anything like that. The only way I accept predictions, if someone misses a show, is if they leave them at the end of the stream in the comments section when the stream's ended. That's
So on
the only
YouTube
time.
comments box, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the only time that I'll do it. Apart from that, if I get my ticket tomorrow, which I'm hoping that in the morning I can confirm I got my ticket, then the show that for the watch along that I had for Saturday will be covered by Colin. Colin will do it from Hotel Cockerel. And not forgetting, on Sunday, we have the magical return of Ash P and Queen Ellie.
Yeah, I can't wait.
For the ladies takeover show, and that'll be at 11 a.m. BST on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's there already.
Come
And
on,
Niall's,
El
I don't know
Cockerel.
if you can see it. Niall's already commented. He says, looking forward to this. I thought it happened today. That was what I meant, Ellie. So Niall's already commented in the show, and there's already 5
Oh,
likes for that show. So
yeah,
yeah. So people, just hit the notification bell. You'll know when we're next back on. And Ellie, can I
yes.
thank you very much for coming on?
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure to join you, Jose. What a great man you are.
It's been a while since we've
Spain are
been on
winning
together.
everything like Man City, so you must be a happy man. Like they've morphed into Man City. They're winning absolutely everything. Even their young uns are winning things, right?
I think
So, and you won the
Rodri,
Women's World Cup, remember, against
yeah,
England. Yeah,
Rodri's morphed into Spain and Man City, isn't he? So, but
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, for the people that haven't entered, come tomorrow. Come to the show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Come and enter your predictions, and we can get
yeah,
you in. And for those that haven't done so, check on the community page. And if you check on the community page, you'll find the 2 games that we're playing online, the Fantasy Premier League, and you also find the Predict the Premiership. And for those that want to read it, Nate Pye, who was here earlier on today in the show, from Australia, he did a whole write-up on game week 1, so to let people know what happened in the LTL League for Fantasy Premier, and he will be doing write-ups and sending them to me on a weekly basis, and I'll be posting them straight onto the community page for all of you to see. So thank you very much. Any last thoughts before we go, Ellie?
yeah. Bergvall is my new man. I'm not going to lock him up in the dungeon. He's going to be on that pitch against Everton, I believe, and he's going to do me proud. Come on, Bergvall.
Okay, my last words are like always are, come on, you mighty Spurs, and in the big hands I trust. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.